Hi and welcome everyone. I'm Amy Rose White, integrative psychotherapist. Thanks for being with me. So let's talk about 2021 and setting intentions rather than New Year's resolutions. So I'm not a huge fan of resolutions. You're probably familiar why. I tend to break them. And then we shame ourselves and we should on ourselves and tell ourselves all the stuff that, oh man, now we have new evidence for why we can't do that thing or why that goal is so hard to achieve. So I prefer to blow all of that old patterning out of the water by choosing to set intentions instead. Now, intentions, let's be clear on the difference. Intentions can really help you move towards your goals when they are a daily practice. So rather than a one set day, I'm never going to eat sugar again, I'm, going to find my dream job, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, whatever it is, we invite a different level of awareness into our personal experience on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment level. And that is what radically changes our life. Not goal setting per se, and certainly not setting a New Year's resolution. So how does this really work? In 2021, folks, we're going to need to prepare for radical change. 2020 was the great reset, the great pause. Anytime I think about 2020, I think about lions laying along safari roads, just taking over the streets, and how the world really came to a screeching halt for a moment in time. And now hopefully I think as we enter into the late winter, early spring, we're going to see that change, but not going back to normal. There is no return to normal. It is a new paradigm moving from here on out. So when we think about intentions, I want you to focus on how you want to feel, not what you want to do, not what you want to accomplish, not the number of dollars you want to make next year or the number of pounds you want to lose. I want you to focus on setting an intention for how you want to feel. So if traditionally you'd say, well, I want to stop eating sugar, I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to, make X amount of money next year, whatever your goals are, whatever your New Year's resolutions typically might be, that is because you believe that you're going to feel, and you want to feel the way you think that achieving those goals is going to make you feel. But when we bring the intention back to how I want to feel, then we actually get to make moment-to-moment decisions that bring that sensation, that emotional experience into our lived experience right now. And that's when things really start to shift. So when we elevate our consciousness and we elevate our awareness to be able to say, how is this making me feel right now? Then we begin to take power over the things that we actually have, which is namely our thinking. And that can generate a new way of feeling. And all the other stuff kind of takes care of itself. So when you are focused on a feeling that you want to have, maybe it's peace, maybe it's joy, maybe it's freedom, then all of your actions, all the people that you associate with, all the places that you go to, all the decisions you make, the media you expose yourself to, and your thoughts stem from that intention. So everything else comes from intention. Intention is everything. If you want to experience joy, peace, love, freedom, then we have to ask ourselves, how is this moment-to-moment decision helping me bring that into the world and feel that in my body? So one good example is the spiritual teacher Matt Kahn often describes waking up first thing in the morning and setting the intention to more deeply love and forgive myself than I've ever done before. That intention alone sets the stage again for the rest of your day and the rest of your 2021. So take some time today. It's the last day of the year. And whenever you're watching this, it's never too late. You could be seeing this in June of 2025, and this will still be relevant. Write down how you want to feel. And then when you feel stuck, when you feel stressed, when you feel on the kind of railroad track or hamster wheel, this is not a railroad track, this is a hamster wheel of negative thinking, Ask yourself, is this how I want to feel? And what choice could I make right now in terms of what I tell myself in my thinking, or how I bring my present awareness to what is working well right now that can get me to how I want to feel better in this moment right now? Intention is everything. So before you see your kids in the morning, for 2021, every day, I want to encourage you to ask yourself, what is my intention in my relations to my children today or in this hour? What is my intention in my exchanges with my partner? What is my intention in my relating at the grocery store, at work, with whomever you come into contact with? What is my intention with how I'm going to relate to myself today? And how can I bring more love to the situation? That's one of my very favorite questions. When you are feeling stuck, maybe your kid's not listening to you, maybe you don't know what to do with your partner, maybe you are in a difficult argument with a family member. Asking yourself, and this is an intention question, how can I bring more love to this situation? It might be that you relax your breathing. It might be that you settle more deeply into your body. Might be that you take a really deep breath and actually hear what that other person is saying instead of rehearsing what you are going to say next. So when we set an intention for the year in terms of how we want to feel, and then we return to those daily and minute-to-minute practices, again, all of your life will actually start funneling towards the goals that you dream of. So the question is, how will I feel when I take this next action step? It might be something you procrastinated. For me, it was just writing checks for some bills that I, don't really want to pay, but can. But I knew that I would feel relaxed and proud and more at peace once I did them. So I focused on the feeling that I knew I would have, and I got them done, got them in the mail. And then I could sort of bask in that sense of accomplishment, even though it might seem like one small task. The practice of doing that over and over again is what leads us to take larger changes and bigger risks into our life as we create the life of our dreams. Now, the reason why intention setting is so important this year, people, for 2021, is that 2021 is going to have some general themes, and this is in the numerology, this is in the astrology, this is actually in Mayan and Hopi prophecy, some general themes of instability and shakeup and stepping into the unknown. And you might be thinking, I thought that's what 2020 was. This is going to be next level as the pandemic ceases to be the primary focus, and those old structures and ways of being, both systemically and individually, continue to fall apart. And that is part due to 3 Saturn-Uranus squares that will happen during the year. One will be in the very first part of January, one will be in the summertime, and one towards the winter time. I'll be making more videos about those. But basically what those squares of Saturn, the old, the rules, the regulations, the old way of doing it, and Saturn, the new. Uranus is very millennial energy and younger. It's shaking things up. It's stirring the pot. It's being wild. It's breaking down to break through. Together, those energies in the square are going to lead to a lot of chaos around the planet. That is sure this year, just in a different way. Now, that's not something to be afraid of if we stick to what our intentions are in terms of how we want to feel. When we do that, we're claiming our power. We are claiming our truth. We're feeling the fear and doing it anyway and not getting caught up in someone else's projected fear onto us. So basically in 2021, everything is up for review. We will have the opportunity to make some real choices with how we want to live our lives. So some of the questions that we are going to be forced to face really are we living in our integrity on a moment-to-moment basis? Are we living true to our values? What really, really matters? And if you are, if you know who you are, do you know who you are? If you know who you are, this year will be thematically one of validation. And if you don't, you're going to be in that wonderful liminal space of feeling kind of lost and shaky and not sure where the ground is. And that is where we get to our truth. That's the necessary passageway to getting to what is absolutely our deep down truth. So there really are going to be two camps this year. One that are in the kind of questioning, deep questioning, utter confusion, grief, disorientation. For those of us that are in the liminal space of not really sure who we are. And by the way, this is like a normal phase of human development. So you're not behind if you fall into that camp. It's just where you're at. And then there might be folks who feel a little more, perhaps they have recently gone through a dark night of the soul. Perhaps they're older. For whatever reason, they have, just some they've gone through the school of hard knocks. And they do feel more of a sense of who they are. This year will be really a validating one of integration of their healing journey, an acknowledgement of it, and a reinforcement of it. Now, that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be easy, but it's more of a yes, I'm not crazy, I'm not alone. Kind of like an I knew it energy, I feel will be present for a lot of people. But again, those are just going to be kind of, that's a dualistic way of looking at it. But if you want to oversimplify the themes of the year, know that if there's grief and disorientation, it's going to take you to that place of yes, validation. I do know who I am. That's just a bridge. 2021 is going to be a bridge to that place for so many of us. So do not fret if you feel lost. It is an important place where you get closer to reclaiming your power, your authority, your agency, and your sovereignty. So to feel your intended feelings, you're going to need to release power and control, or the need for power and control. Now, for folks with anxiety, that's harder. It's super hard. That's, it's like a water balloon. The harder you hold on, the more likely it is to pop. So notice the ways in which you can return to your intentions for whatever that is, a sense of ease, joy, fun, play, and see where letting go of your need to control others, including your own outcomes and your own ways of being in the world, is keeping you from feeling that intended feeling. And if you only focus on those intended feelings and bring the focus back, then one step at a time, you regain your trust in yourself and your trust in life, rather than having to grip the steering wheel like this the whole time for dear life. Because, I work with people at the end of their lives once in a while, and people who have never let go die with a lot of regrets. The people that I've seen die feeling like there aren't regrets, that they did the things and felt the feelings and acknowledged the mess of their life with less of a stranglehold, usually as they get older. That's part of maturation emotionally. Those are the folks that I see end their lives with a greater sense of peace and well-being and surrender, acceptance, and even celebration into stepping to the great unknown of physical death. Now, that's not going to apply to most of us this year, but it is really helpful to think about how we can let go of our need to control and therefore actually experience the feelings of our set intentions on a more with more fluidity, with more ease, and on a more day-to-day basis. So without this framework for 2021, without thinking about this in a structured way, I do believe a lot of folks are going to be more prone to anxiety and depression this year. So because of that lack of return to normalcy, even with the vaccine, the old ways were really not working for most of the people on the planet. If we think about healthcare, hunger, food security, even housing affordability, so many people on the planet don't have access to those things. And it is my hope and my belief, as I look at all the esoteric arts and sciences out there that really help us understand the energies moving into 2021, as well as my own intuitive guidance, this is an opportunity for us to create a new world, especially in the next few years, certainly in the next 10 to 20, but this next few are where we just dismantle all the old in our individual and collective lives so we can make this planet work better for all of us, not just some. So hold that as the highest octave of intention for our planet as well. I would encourage you to do that. So the instability and chaos that might reign outside can lead to fear. And the final advice I will give you for 2021, as we think about setting intentions and some of the healing themes that I believe will occur, is to practice observing with detachment. So you can witness volatility and instability on the outside, whatever that is. Maybe that's an earthquake, maybe that's an economic major change in our society, maybe it's a currency change, maybe there's a leadership change, maybe there's information that is disclosed about people that you have a certain opinion about that really rocks your world. You can observe that without engaging in it, without going into the spin cycle of fear about what that means for you. That means calming your lizard brain, telling yourself that you will be safe no matter what, that you trust yourself and you trust life enough to slow your breath down, come back to the present moment, and bring a gentle return to your daily intention of how you want to feel. And that, my friends, is where we reclaim our power in 2021. Happy New Year to all of you. Happy 2021. I think it's going to be a wonderful time of new beginnings for so many of us. And until next time, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be at peace. Bye for now.